ever looked at a piece of artwork and wondered how long it took the artist to create that piece? I know the question is burning and seemingly natural, but every artist winces, and at worst will even end a conversation and walk away from you, leaving you wondering what you just said to offend them. I'm Michelle Levan, the artist, coming to you from the ArtPrintExpress.com studio. And I will use my amazing mind-reading powers to answer this question before you even ask, saving you from the possible bewilderment at an exhibit. So the question, how long did it take you to make? This seems pretty casual and obvious to ask an artist, but it is as taboo as asking a woman what her age is. And I'm going to answer it right here so you'll never be tempted to ask. So to put it simply, the time involved it took an artist to do a piece took just as long as they have lived up to the point that the piece was finished. I also want you to consider, if an artist tells you, oh, it took me about 2 hours, or on the other hand, that piece took me 120 hours. Does that time make the work better or worse if it truly speaks to you? Many artists have practiced the skills to create a piece for years, and when they place a brush to canvas, the development of the image has become second nature. Then again, the most simple imagery can take hours upon hours, or even days or years of contemplation and work to create. To make this clear, let me show you one of my own pieces. This is one of my pieces from a life drawing session. From the first brushstroke to the finished product, it technically took me 2 hours. This could be a solid, impressive answer if it was the very first time I sat in a life drawing session to create the piece. But the 2-hour answer disregards every moment in my life that led me up to the point of being able to create it. I have spent 2 hours twice a month for 20 years creating work in these life drawing sessions. This would mean I've spent over 500 hours producing work like this in 2-hour spurts. Then we must consider all of the other time I work creating outside of those life drawing sessions that I use to hone my skills throughout my entire painting career. Because every moment spent creating builds on itself like any other skills. I probably spend 500 hours a year creating work outside of these life drawing sessions. This would make at least 20 years of actual time painting at the easel, about 10,500 hours. Passing up that critical 10,000 hour mark, that would make me an expert in my field. However, I can argue that an artist is creating all of the time, even when they are not sitting at the easel. So let's add all of the time I've spent up to this point. Wait a minute. I don't want to reveal my real age, so I'm going to lie on the short side and say I have spent probably 250,000 hours simply to have the ability to create this 2-hour figurative piece. Does that answer the question for you about how long it took me to have the skill to create this particular piece of artwork in 2 hours? So in reality, the question is not important to the quality or power of the piece, because the work of creating the piece of artwork involves the whole individual, their entire life experience and practice, and not just the time it took to put the vision on the canvas. This might sound philosophical, but consider that the piece did not exist until a particular point in the artist's life and couldn't have been created until that moment. I certainly could not have created this example piece at any moment before it was done. So the time it took to create question is not the best question to ask an artist, and how does an artist truly answer that question to satisfy your curiosity? Sadly, more often than not, it will end a discussion because it is really hard to answer this question to a person who is not an artist. Okay, so there is my little insider mind-reading answer for the most asked and most misunderstood question artists get. If you're really interested in an artist's work, the answer to the time question is right here. And you are now free to enjoy the artist's work and their work at a reception. If you haven't seen the previous video on what to ask an artist, I encourage you to go take a look. If you are looking for artists to follow and to get to know, A good place to start your search is on artist group sites, where several artists are represented, such as artprintexpress.com. So go there, go check out my artist friends. The link is right here. It is a place to acquire affordable museum quality fine art prints by artists who create with ARTitude. I think you will find something fantastic that will resonate with your soul. Until next time, may your life be filled with ARTitude.